Do life in a body you love, chicks. How's everybody doing? I'm all fired up right now and totally obsessed with our Keep It Off Academy. And I want to share with you like the fat loss trifecta that we work with in this program because the results we're getting are sick. Like I'm so obsessed with it. And so I want to share this trifecta of things with you all so that you can go implement it. And if you don't want to implement it on your own, I'm totally going to tell you how you can work with us at the end of this. But you can take these and go implement them. And I'm telling you, you have to dial in all three pieces of this trifecta to keep weight off. So you can certainly go lose weight, skipping a few of these, not a few, that would be all of them. You can go lose weight, skipping one or two, but you won't keep it off. And I'm positive about this. I'm as positive about this as I am that the sky is blue, just because I've seen it too many times. I'm seeing it happen so much. Women who have tried all the things and nothing works to keep weight off, or their old tricks stop working, or they feel overwhelmed and they don't know what to do, or they can't change their behavior consistently. They're like, well, I know what to do, but I can't make myself do it. But they've been stuck in that for decades. And they're all making forward progress and not hating their life. And so what is this trifecta that you need? I'm going to give them to you. And just know that if you're over 35, for some women it's 40, for some women it's 45, there seems to be this magical number that we hit where the weight loss game just changes. And it's so annoying. And for some of us, it's not until we hit that perimenopausal area, which, by the way, ladies, you can be in perimenopause well before you actually have any symptoms. The symptom could just be a shortening menstrual cycle. So you're having more frequent periods than you used to. Like it can be so subtle. And so sometimes we are actually being affected by those hormone shifts well before we're aware of it. And all of those things change the weight loss game for us. But no worries. We have women in every single phase of menopause, middle, beginning, through it, whatever, losing weight. We have a woman in her 70s who's losing weight. We have women in their 30s losing weight. You can lose weight at any age, no matter what your crazy schedule is, but you got to button up these three things. So number one, I call it our fat loss matrix. That's what I call it within the Keep It Off Academy. But here's what it looks like so that if you want to go implement it for yourself, you can. Number one, you have to take what is scientifically true about fat loss and get rid of all the hype. There's so much hype. There's so much nonsense. The food rules in our brain about weight loss are crazy, right? So I'm going to give you, for instance, with a client that I was working with today. And I'm going to use this as an example because I used to do this too. So we have like these food rules about timing of food, right? So I can't eat past 5 or I can't eat past 6 or whatever like the magical number you were told is. And here's the thing. The timing of your food is relevant. However, it is much less relevant than the quality and the quantity. Those are king. Like if you got the right foods and in the right amounts for what your body needs and what your hormones need and to fire up your metabolism, the timing is fairly insignificant. But because we have this rule in our brain, I can only eat in this eating window. What do? We try not to eat past 5 or 6, whatever the number is. But then if we're staying up until like midnight, then we end up binging later because we're so hungry because we ate our dinner way earlier than when we were going to bed. And so we end up eating past 6 anyways, but we end up eating crappy food and that doesn't serve us. So first food rule we took away for her was 6 o'clock's no longer a thing. Let's have you eating a balanced meal late enough in the night for you to not binge before you go to bed. That will change everything for her because I've seen it 100 times and I went through that one myself. That's one tiny example of the tweaks that we make to our clients' plans in the Keep It Off Academy. And those are the things that you need to evaluate. What is real about weight loss? And what things am I just doing because I think I'm quote unquote supposed to? Is there any data to back up this thing that I'm doing? I'm going to tell you, I have women who eat bananas and lose weight, potatoes, artificial sweeteners they're eating. I'm not promoting artificial sweeteners if they upset you. But like for some people, they don't upset them and they're helping them. But like we have all these things in our brain, right? I have some women who come into the program and they're actually working out less now than when they started working with me. And then they lose weight better because they weren't doing the right exercises for what their body wants. So this is how you go through a little fat loss matrix. What does science say that you need to do? What is your body telling you it needs for the season of life that you are in? Newsflash, ladies, what works for your husband is not going to work for you. Okay. So my husband is 6'1" and he's naturally an ectomorph, meaning he's tall and skinny. He looks like an athlete, even though he's probably only worked out 5 times since I met him 16 years ago. And he eats Doritos every night. And he looks like an athlete. That ain't me. I have to do things totally different to take weight off. Your husband may be able to follow OMAD, where you eat 1 meal a day and it's very, very robust. And he may lose weight just fine doing that. And he may look at you and be like, what's your problem? Just don't eat breakfast and lunch. And if you do that, especially if you're in perimenopause or menopause, that's going to backfire. And in fact, it backfires for all women, menopause aside. Our hormonal profile isn't built for that. Our body isn't built for that. Have you noticed that we retain fat quicker than men and it's harder for us to lose it? Blanket statement, but in general. And that's because our biology is different. So what some dude is doing is not going to be the thing that's going to work for you. Some of the underlying principles will be the same. You can actually eat the same meals, okay, provided he's eating more than once a day. But the quantities and things like that may need to be different for you. Your workouts need to probably be a little bit different than him. And so you have to customize science plus you, who you are as an individual. Okay. That's just the how-to piece. The other piece of the fat loss matrix is your own personality and lifestyle. So the best plan in the world isn't going to work if it doesn't fit your schedule or if you hate it. If you feel like you have to put your life on hold to follow your fat loss plan, it's not going to last. So when people are like, well, I want to start losing weight, but I have this and this going on, so I'm going to wait till after that. It makes me crazy because what I know to be true is that your fat loss plan has to work no matter how busy you are, or it can't work forever because eventually you're going to get busy again. That's life. Like no matter what is happening, you have to be able to take good care of your body. And so we have to streamline things and plot them around your life. What does your schedule look like? What do your kids' soccer schedules look like? What will your family eat? What do you like? What kind of moving do you like doing? And so that whole component all falls under number 1. Okay. All of that is in the fat loss matrix and more. Okay. So that's number 1, fat loss matrix. That's what that entails. Number 2 is the part nobody wants to do, but it makes all the difference in the world. Buttoning up your mindset and developing habits. So this is for my girls who are like, I know what to do, but I can't make myself do it. Yeah, then this is the part that you need. First of all, even when we think we know what to do, sometimes we try it because it used to work for us and then it doesn't work anymore. So if that's what's going on for you, then you don't actually know what to do. And I say that out of love, but like your body changes and things stop working. That's because your body doesn't like that. So if you're trying to fit an old approach into this season of your life and it's not working, then you don't know what to do. But let's say you do know what to do. You know exactly what your body needs. You've learned to dial in personalized nutrition, but you're struggling with consistency. Well, there are key things that you can do to develop habits, which is what we got to do, right? I mean, this is like what most of weight loss is. It's not the what to eat. That's the easiest part. It's the how do I change my behavior for the rest of my life. And so that can be mindset, that can be habits. So let me give you some examples because I feel like mindset is a very vague term. So how about binging? This was me. I was a huge binger. I'm still a foodie. I can still go to a restaurant and pound 3,000 calories if I let myself. And on rare occasions, I still do that, like whole pizza and 6 craft beers. It's extremely rare, but it can happen. But I would binge every time I tried to lose weight. because I had this all or nothing mindset. How many of you have this where it's like, I'm going to do it perfect and aggressive because I want to take weight off as fast as I can. And if I'm going to put the time into this, I need my plan to be the most efficient plan it can possibly be because I am busy and I don't want to play with this. So I'm like all in until I get sick of it or life happens or I get busy and then I'm all off. Anybody relate to that? All in and all off plan does not work for sustaining weight loss. You can't do it. So we have to break that all or nothing thinking. We have to break this binge and starve cycle. We tend to think that that's only people who have like quote unquote eating disorders who do that. I'm telling you right now, most women go through cycles of maybe not starving, but very low food intake, quote unquote eating healthy, eating clean, but it's not enough food for their body. And then turning around and binging. And so we have to stop that. The all day grazing and snacking, that's another one. There's just so much that goes into this. And what we unpack in the Keep It Off Academy varies from person to person. We get in and we figure out what's the real mindset thing. Is it a belief issue? Do you keep quote unquote falling off the horse because every time you stumble, you go, see, I knew I couldn't do this. And then you quit. So that's a belief issue. So then we work on belief. We meet you wherever you're at with your own mindset thing. And newsflash, we all have mindset things. I still work on a ton of mindset things myself. So instead of trying to bully yourself into submission or having a trainer or a coach who just like badgers you all the time, like, well, you shouldn't have ate that, blah, blah, blah. If you want to get results, you can't be doing this or that. That doesn't actually help in the long term. It may in the short term, but it's not getting to the root of what's going on. Does that make sense? And we have to get to those root issues if we want to keep weight off and not have to starve. Okay, so then the third piece of the trifecta is maintenance and balance. So kind of going back to that all or nothing thinking, right? We can't live there. We can't live in this like aggressive, I have to be perfect or else I'm binging. We can't expect perfection of ourselves. And sometimes after we've lost weight, even in a healthy way, we've slowed our metabolism down and we have to build that and repair it so that we can roll into maintenance without having to eat perfect. Have you ever had the experience where you lose weight, you hit your goal, but then like the minute you come off the plan, the weight comes back on, even if you're not eating bad, you're just like, okay, I'm going to just eat healthy food now. And the weight comes back on, then you probably slow down your metabolism. You just didn't realize that that's what was happening. You have to get your metabolism to a point where you don't have to eat perfect, where you don't have to track, count points, count your macros. I'm not saying there's not a place for doing those things for a short period of time, but all of that has to be transitioned into you being a real life woman who lives a real life, who is doing life. Make sense? So you're not obsessed with food. You're not obsessed with where is the next meal coming from. You're not obsessed with the scale. You're not terrified to go on vacation because you just lost 30 pounds and you're like, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to put all this weight back on. You're just chill. You're just like, this is what I do now. This is who I am. I know that sounds wild. If you have struggled with your weight for decades or years or months, that can sound wild to get to this place where you like your body and you're not obsessed with food and you're not obsessed with the scale and you go out and you have fun, but it doesn't totally derail you. And you just get to like live life like a normal person who just has different habits. Habits meaning it's no longer a struggle. If it's still a struggle, it's not a habit yet. You might be on your way to making it a habit, but when it's a habit, it's automated. So all of that has to happen in this maintenance phase where we're bringing our body back into balance and we're bringing our mind back into balance. We're not in diet brain, and we all have so much of this diet brain stuff. So that's the trifecta, ladies. That's what you got to do. You got to put yourself through some sort of a fat loss matrix where you're looking at science plus what your body needs, plus what will match your schedule, coming up with a plan, come up with a blueprint. Then you got to work on mindset and habits. And then you have to figure out how to balance your body and roll into maintenance. And if you need help with that, reach out. We have spots open in the Keep It Off Academy. I'm literally obsessed with it because this is exactly what we do. When me or one of our coaches onboard our client, we're literally going, okay, let me see, what do you normally eat? Cool. Let's make some tweaks here. Let's make some tweaks there. This is perfect for people who feel overwhelmed by losing weight. Maybe you have a ton of knowledge, you've studied a lot of this stuff, and then you don't know how to apply it to yourself because you have information overload, or you've already tried everything and nothing works. And so you're like, I don't know what to do now. This is such a fun process for women who feel that way, because we're giving you guidance without being your dictator. We're not saying you have to eat this, but we're giving you good strategy, but we're helping you figure out how can we balance that into your life without it feeling really overwhelming. And we're there with you every week for 13 weeks, making modifications based on what your body is telling us. So there's the data that your body is giving us. We make strategic interventions. There's no need for overwhelm because we are always there adjusting the plan with you. If you feel like you know what to do and you can't make yourself do it, great. That's exactly who needs a coach, because we're going to help you change your behavior. If it's not a knowledge deficit, but you need to be able to do the things, that's exactly what all of the habit and mindset work is for, and then bringing balance to your body. So if you want to know how you can grab one of these spots, because we do only work with so many people at a time, and we do have like 4 or 5 spots open right now, send me a message. On Facebook is where I'm most responsive, but if you're on Instagram, you can find me there too. And just shoot me a message and say, keep it off. And I'll know that you want to start that conversation. Here's what this is going to look like. The things I'm going to ask you about, because I'm going to ask you some questions if you reach out to me. I'm going to want to know, what's the goal? What are we working on? What things have you already tried? Because I need to see just how slow maybe your metabolism is from previous diet things, and also what does and doesn't work for you. How do those things work for you? What normally kicks you off of the horse, so that when we do bring you on board, we can make a really solid plan that's perfect for you. So if you're overwhelmed, if you're frustrated because nothing else is working, if you used to be lean and then menopause happened and you keep putting belly fat on and you're like, I don't want this to keep trending in that direction, we have to lay down all the food rules, you guys. We have to get rid of all of the dieting. It's total BS. Most of what all of these weight loss gurus and everybody else are teaching, they're really not designed to help women keep weight off of their body. They may help you lose it, but I don't want you to lose weight. I want you to lose fat. And there's a difference, and it's a different approach. So let's take the fat off of our bodies, keep our bones and our muscle and all of the things that we need as we age if we want to be active women later in life. Let's build strong bodies. This actually, you guys, this approach, it doesn't just shrink your waistline. It does that, but that's not all it does. This is like more energy, better cognition, better immunity, better digestion, because we're bringing balance to your body. We're repairing your body instead of tearing it down. Diets cause nutritional deficiencies. Diets cause binging. Diets cause feelings of low self-worth. When you're in this program, not only are you getting a couple of coaches at your disposal, but you have the most amazing tribe of women. Like, this is my favorite part, because this is a group coaching model and you do get a lot of personalized attention as well. But our calls are fire. People think they're going to hate them. Everybody's like, I don't care. I don't want to get on that call. That sounds stupid. Whatever. Just tell me what to eat. And then they get on them and they're like, oh my God. I get a message from every single new person. Every single one who joins the program messages me after her first call and is like, that was amazing. And it's literally just women sitting around supporting one another. You're hearing me help other people problem solve whatever's going on for their behavior or with their body. And you learn so much. Like, it's invaluable to be a part of something like this and watch all of these transformations. It's encouraging. You get to see people who are like really beat up in one phase come up out of it. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like going to remember that the next time that's how I'm feeling. Like, the support's insane. It's insane. It's my most favorite part. So yes, this podcast episode was totally to pitch you on our coaching services, because I'm so in love with the way that we provide a transformation for women. There is nothing out there like this. at all. And I want every single one of you doing life in a body that you love forever and not having to worry about it anymore. So if that's you, reach out, shoot me a message. I will put a link in the show notes where you can just go ahead and schedule a call with me if you want to do that. Or you can just message me on social media. So I hope that this is inspiring for you, whether you decide that the Academy is correct for you or not. But take that fat loss trifecta. Go implement that at the very least. If you follow those things, you're going to get results. If you don't know how to follow those things, or you need support, then you need to reach out. But if you go do them on your own and you start getting results, awesome. Message me and let me know. I still want to cheer you on, and I will catch you chicks on the next episode.